All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're talking about the Los Angeles Chargers in tonight's video. Now, their offseason's been really interesting. It's mainly been headlined by moves like Dante Jackson, cornerback from Pittsburgh, Najee Harris, running back from Pittsburgh, Mike Williams, wide receiver from Pittsburgh. Obviously, Chargers fans know who Mike Williams is. A couple of guys who got re-signed, like Khalil Mack. But most of the headlines regarding the Los Angeles Chargers offseason have been losing guys like Bosa, obviously the big one, losing Bosa. Poona Ford also is going to be a tough loss. But to me, the Chargers are just getting younger, right? This is a team that really excelled expectations last season. They went 11-6. They were second in the AFC West, and they had flaws, they had holes, but they had such a good roster. And I don't know. I don't think that big time moves were really expected in free agency, like day one, day two type of moves. I don't think that was really expected for the Chargers to go make a huge, crazy splash. Like maybe if T. Higgins was available, but I still think even if he was in free agency, I don't think the Chargers were going to be willing to spend that much money for a player. So my point just is, I think they're being very systematical, and I think they're playing this very smart because a lot of their holes and a lot of their flaws, and it's, honestly, mainly offensively. Like, I want them to go out there and get a tight end, right? I want them to go out there and get a playmaking running back. I know they desperately need help on the interior offensive line. And although all three of those things are stuff that you can easily address in the first couple of rounds of the NFL draft, you can get day one starters in the first, second round, and even third round and later in the draft. So, folks, welcome back. Obviously, we're talking about the Chargers free agency. We're going to kick it off with Najee Harris in just 1 second. But before we do, hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content, along with at least one Chargers video every single week. And folks, if we could try and get this video to 200 likes, it really goes a super long way. So thank you. All right, let's start it off with Najee. So he joins the Chargers on a 1-year deal worth up to $9.5 million. The deeper advanced statistics of that contract are much better than how it seems. He just turned 27. This is the number 24th pick in 2021's draft class. But the best part about Najee, and it's why I think the Chargers made a move for him, is he is yet to miss a game in his NFL career. 71 straight starts, including the playoffs. All right, so obviously J.K. Dobbins is probably not going to be re-signed from the Chargers. It's Friday night. He hasn't been signed. Maybe he gets signed this weekend, but it's not going to be from Los Angeles. I really like, there was some writer who kind of connected the dots as far as like what the Detroit Lions did in 2023, where they overhauled their running back room and they went out there and they signed veteran David Montgomery to a 3-year, $18 million contract. And then they drafted Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round. And I think something along those lines is going to be similar for what they want to do with Najee in the running back room. The only issue with JK was he had a career year, right? Resurged his career specifically in the first half of the Chargers season, and then he got injured and missed 4 games. And that's vital, especially when you're in a division with Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City Chiefs. The Broncos made the playoffs. The Raiders are making a bunch of moves. Like, every game matters, and having your starting running back miss a whole month is not ideal. And obviously, JK's had career issues his whole career. So Najee's coming off his 4th straight 1,000-yard season, making him the 14th player to ever do that, to start an NFL career. This past season, 263 carries, almost 1,150 yards, 6 touchdowns, also had 36 catches for about 300 yards. He also had a couple of carries, like 6 carries for 20-ish yards in the playoff game where they lost badly to the Ravens, but that game script was just over. But like I said, Najee Harris is going to bring stability. That's what he brings to the Chargers: stability and health. He's going to be healthy. He's going to be available. You know what you're getting from Najee Harris. And you're going to have the ability to get explosive in the draft. And it's probably not going to be in the first round. It's probably going to be more like a second or third round pick, because this draft is littered with running backs. And then we stay with the Pittsburgh Steelers moves. Dante Jackson, 2-year, $13 million contract. And What I really like about this is his fit with defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. All right, we'll talk about that in 1 second. So Dante spent his first 6 seasons with the Carolina Panthers, and this time last year he was traded to Pittsburgh, and it was just a one-for-one swap. Deontay Johnson, the wide receiver, got shipped off to Pittsburgh, right? And his career's gone severely downhill. It's neither here nor there. I hope he figures it out. Dante is a little under 5'10", about 180 pounds. Last season, he played 90% of his snaps on the outside. Last season, under defensive coordinator Jesse Minter, no team in the NFL played more zone coverage than the Chargers. Dante, in his NFL career, has 13 picks and 36 passes defended in zone coverage. So the thought process is kind of like Fulton, where you're bringing in a player with, yes, he has flaws. Every guy in every sport has flaws. But you're going out there and you're getting guys who fit your scheme. You're getting guys who fit in your system. So day one, just like that, just like a snap, they're ready to go and they're going to play their best football while also minimizing their weaknesses. So that's why I love the Dante Jackson move, is I think scheme-wise, it works very well. And with Cam Hart, I mean, that young defensive back room in Los Angeles is very exciting. And I do like that they're getting younger, but those are proven vets. Dante's been in the league for, 7 seasons now. Najee's been in the league for 4 years now. They're getting younger in the sense of moving off guys who are, in their 30s. Now, moving forward, and Los Angeles has made a bunch of moves this offseason, and we don't have, unfortunately, time to cover every single one, every single release and loss in one video. So we're going to talk about a couple of more, as much as we have time for. But keep in mind, I post a ton of Chargers videos, so we'll talk about all of this in the next week or so. Mike Williams, 1-year contract to bring him back to Los Angeles, up to $6 million. Now, obviously, Justin Herbert and Mike Williams, that duo, the chemistry is unmatched. First 4 seasons of his career, Justin Herbert, Williams caught 206 catches for over 3,000 yards and 19 touchdowns. Now, obviously, he tore his ACL a couple of years ago in Los Angeles, so last year expectedly was going to be a down year. He only caught 21 catches for 298 yards and 1 touchdown in 18 games split between the two teams. And, the fit in New York didn't work. The fit in Pittsburgh was kind of like throwing something, it's kind of like duct taping something that's broken. And Mike Williams just needed a year. Right? Tore his ACL. He's only 30. I thought Mike Williams was going to be maybe like 32, 33, still only 30 years old. And he gives you a really good wide receiver that Los Angeles was lacking last year. Just a 50-50 guy. You can throw up a 50-50 ball for Mike Williams, and it's more like 70-30. And Los Angeles just didn't have somebody like that on the roster. So, folks, that's all we have time for tonight. Keep in mind, drop a comment down below if you want another Chargers video. They're going to make a lot of these moves in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised if they signed a guy like Tevin Jenkins at guard. I wouldn't be surprised if they picked up like a Tyler Conklin at tight end from the New York Jets. But wide receiver, tight end, interior offensive line, running back, I think they're at defensive trenches, I think is what they're going to invest the draft and the rest of free agency. That's all I got time for. Hit that like button, hit that sub button. Give me a grade for the Chargers free agency thus far, and we'll see you soon. Peace.